The 8099th meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is the situation in Somalia. The agenda is adopted. In accordance with Rule 37 of the Council Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite the representatives of Djibouti, Eritrea, and Somalia to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. On behalf of the Council, I'd like to welcome His Excellency Mr. Oman Saleh, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Eritrea. The Security Council will now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. Members of the Council have before them document S/2017-945, the text of a draft resolution submitted by the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and I wish to draw the attention of Council members to document S/2017-924, a letter dated 2 November 2017 from the Chair of the Security Council Committee pursuant to Resolution 751 and 1907 concerning Somalia and Eritrea addressed to the President of the Security Council, and to document S/2017-925, a letter dated 2 November 2017 from the Chair of the Security Council Committee pursuant to Resolution 751 and 1907 concerning Somalia and Eritrea addressed to the President of the Security Council. The Council is ready to proceed to the vote on the draft resolution before it. I shall put the draft resolution to the vote now. Will those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2017-945 please raise their hand? Those against? Abstentions? The result of the voting is as follows. 11 votes in favor, 0 votes against, 4 abstentions. The draft resolution has been adopted as Resolution 2385 of 2017. For a statement, I now give the floor to the representative of Ethiopia.
Thank you, Mr. President. We welcome the adoption of Resolution 2385, renewing the mandate of the monitoring group for another year, and the UK should be commended for all its efforts in facilitating the draft resolution and in trying to accommodate as much as possible the comments and inputs of members of the Council. This sanctions regime has critical importance to regional peace and stability, and a lot of significance should be attached to its full and effective implementation. In this regard, the monitoring group has certainly provided extensive information and analysis in its latest annual report, and Council should take this opportunity to express its appreciation to the group for its dedicated efforts in monitoring the implementation of this sanction regime. We believe it's proper to thank those who voted for the resolution, because we take their gesture as an expression of commitment to the peace and security of the Horn of Africa, a region which is so much in need of even a temporary respite from the so many conflicts affecting the region. That is why we are exceedingly appreciative, not because we are so fond of sanctions, but because there is for now no other alternative for putting a stop to acts of destabilization, which is something impossible to overlook in the report of the monitoring group. As far as the situation in Somalia is concerned, the growing influence of Al-Qaeda and ISIL-Daesh is a cause for serious concern, which should give us more reason to continue to intensify our efforts in the fight against terrorism and violent extremism. This cannot be done, however, without the necessary support to the Somalia National Security Forces and AMISOM. We cannot afford to take for granted the security gains made in recent years, which, as we have seen recently, can easily be reversed in the absence of sustained international support and engagement. With regard to Eritrea, despite the increased tempo of lobbying close to renewal of mandates, we have seen no change of behavior whatsoever in the country's destabilizing activities in the region. It continues to violate the arms embargo and support armed opposition groups operating in the region. The monitoring group has documented very well, with corroborated evidence, how Eritrea continues to violate the sanctions regime in complete disregard of the relevant Security Council resolutions. This cannot and should not be taken lightly. With regard to Eritrea's support to Al-Shabaab, we understand this is still a work in progress, as the monitoring group has not been able to make a clear determination on some of the investigative work that it is carrying out, but it has not ruled out Eritrea's support to Al-Shabaab. It should be understood that what the monitoring group said in its report is that it could not find conclusive evidence. Lack of conclusive evidence doesn't denote the absence of evidence at all the more so in circumstances when the monitoring group has not been allowed to visit Eritrea. Therefore, we should allow the monitoring group to finalize its investigation. Eritrea has continued to obstruct the implementation of Resolution 1862. It should be called upon to clarify the situation of the remaining Djiboutian prisoners of war. Eritrea had not even acknowledged the existence of these prisoners of war, but then subsequently said that they have died. We note what was stated in the midterm update and the final report, indicating that those prisoners of war may still be alive, which contradicts what Eritrea has been saying. Therefore, it is incumbent on Eritrea to clarify the situation of the remaining prisoners of war in line with its treaty obligations and as called for by this resolution that we adopted today. Eritrea did not also give constructive response both to the monitoring group request to visit the disputed area between Djibouti and Eritrea, as well as to the AU fact-finding mission following the withdrawal of Qatari forces. The visit to Djibouti has already been conducted, while the Eritrea leg is still awaiting Eritrea's positive response. This is a clear indication that Eritrea does not have any desire to fulfill its obligations. While other countries under sanctions try to cooperate as much as possible, Eritrea has so far not shown any willingness or readiness to extend the necessary cooperation to the Sanctions Committee and the Monitoring Group. We have to ask why Eritrea continues to refuse allowing the Sanctions Committee and the Monitoring Group to visit Asmara. This really does not make sense unless it has something to hide. A country which desperately wants to get the sanctions lifted would logically have to show maximum cooperation, but that does not seem to be the case. Some might be inclined to give short shrift to this, ignoring how critical it is for regional peace and security. Once again, this Council has urged Eritrea to facilitate the visit of the chair of the Sanctions Committee and the monitoring group. We are hopeful this would happen, and even more hopeful that Eritrea would choose to live in peace with Djibouti and Eritrea and Ethiopia, which we know would not make some happy, but would be in the best interest of the peoples of the three countries and the region in general. This is something we look forward to with great hope. I thank you, Mr. President.